Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome back. It's Thursday. Week's almost over. I have been incredibly unfocused, but I remembered what time I streamed today, so that counts. I was actually ready to hit live right at 7 rather than running around my apartment like crazy. So that helps. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. I don't think I did. I got the game open. I got all that open. You guys can hear me. You guys can hear the music. Got my phone in front of me. Water bottle's full enough. I think we're good. But yeah, I've been not focused at all for the past like 2 days. I could not get myself to stare at anything longer than like an hour without wanting to walk away or look at my phone or something else. So hopefully I can get dialed in and focused on trying to beat this game, because it's starting to drive me a bit crazy that I haven't managed to get this zero death run. We got close. We were like within 45 minutes of the end of the game last time. I believe I can do it. I know I can. And I really want it to happen today. Because once we finish this, I have the YouTube video ready to go. More or less. I'll have to record the opening, like me saying hello and whatnot, but the rest of it's just going to be grabbing that whole run, like the 3 hours, and condensing it down to like 10 minutes. So that video will be fairly quick and easy to make. The big thing, really, there's not like a big thing to be like looking forward to in terms of getting this video done, other than when I actually get it. But in terms of content stuff, I've been trying to work on writing the script for the Dredge review, and that's one of the things I just cannot stay focused on. So it's the script is only about half written. So hopefully I can finish up writing that either tonight, tomorrow morning, get it filmed, edited, and be ready to go Saturday. I promise it'll be out Saturday, but how much sleep am I going to lose over my inability to focus and get it done? Because typically I try to have the script written by Wednesday, but I've been really bad about staying focused. I think part of it is my sleep schedule has been so bad. I have been having incredibly late nights, early mornings, whatever you want to call it. I don't really think you can call it a late night if I go to bed at like 10 a.m., but that's happened a couple times in the past week or so. I'm trying to get that fixed. So Tuesday night, I went to sleep at like 4:30. Last night, I went to sleep at like 3:30. So we're trying to walk it back forwards. So the goal's like 2 a.m. tonight. And then I've been getting up at like between 8 and 10, kind of in there. Because the apartment straight this way for me, the tenant, like the person who was living there, moved out, and then they're doing like a bunch of like renovations and stuff. So like the crew that's working on it gets here at like 8 a.m. Then depending on how loud they are is when I wake up, mostly because my cats get scared from the hammers and everything that's going on. So they come running to me like, what the hell's going on? The wall's making noise. So I got woken up at 8:30 the other day to them ripping out carpet. I believe it was what they were doing at the time. And then this morning I was woken up to them doing something in the kitchen, I assume. I don't know. I went to work on doing my laundry, and there was a refrigerator just in the hallway. And then when I was coming back up from starting the laundry in the basement, there was one of the construction guys was like in the hallway, and he was trying to say something to me in Spanish, and I knew it was Spanish because I recognized it as Spanish. And he was like looking like right at me, like kind of waving, like saying something. Not 100% sure what he was saying, and I was like, I should probably tell this guy, like, I don't know what you're saying. So I went to try saying it like in Spanish, like I don't speak Spanish. And my dumbass brain immediately told this guy in Japanese, I don't speak Spanish. So he's like saying something to me in Spanish, and I look him dead in the eyes and just go, like, come on, I'm tripping up over words. I don't speak Japanese out loud very often. So I was like, "Komenasai," like "Spango ga hanasei arimasen," and he's just like stare, and like the look on his face when he didn't know what language I was speaking, I think made up for the embarrassment of me realizing I didn't speak Spanish or English to this guy. It was hysterical, but at the same time, I realized what I had said the second I like said it, and I was just staring at him like, yeah. And he's looking at me like, I don't know what you just said. So there was just kind of like awkward eye contact for like 4 or 5 seconds, and then like I just kind of walked back into my own apartment and didn't say anything and like hoped it was okay. So I don't know if he was trying to ask for help or something. But I think after I spoke to him in a language he couldn't recognize or even like try and understand, I don't think he was expecting help at that point. I think he had kind of given up on it. But that absolutely happened, and very embarrassing. So when my laundry was finished and I went to go get it, I was like standing at my door, like staring like through the people. I'm like staring through it. I'm like, is he there? I can't tell. Because I do not want to walk out into the hallway and see this guy, because I'm likely going to answer in English again this time. And I'm just going to look like the bigger idiot, or potentially even like look rude for like whatever. And oh my gosh, that was a moment. So that's what I've been up to today, doing laundry and telling construction workers in Japanese that I don't speak Spanish. How are you guys? Are you having a better day than I am? Yeah, it's been a time. Like I said, my brain has just not been focused. It cannot do a single task. And I think that really highlights the little proof that the brain cells are not brain celling. So that's a good sign for trying to do a very technical platforming game with 0 deaths, right? Like that's how it works. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Absolutely nothing could go wrong. Surely. So you know what? You guys just want to jump in, see what happens. We can do that. Let me get you guys onto the screen to see it. I will go ahead and give you guys game audio. And we can see this absolute bummer. 10 out of 10 shrines, 2 hours, 14 minutes in. And we didn't get it. Also, I think your guys' music is... We're going to bump your music down just a touch. Just to be safe. Don't want it too loud. Yeah, this was an absolute bummer. Like, we made it so close. And we just gotta... Okay, we're jumping in. We're gonna pre-hydrate so we're ready. We got 3 hours of gameplay ahead of me, and then we're done because it's only gonna take one try. That's my promise to you guys. All right.
Lana.
Let's see how this goes. Hee. Are we ready? All right, let's get it going. I also can't tell if the little run jump is faster or slower. It makes me feel faster, so that's got to be worth something, right? Like, I was beating Elo for a second there. That's just how fast I am. Timed that jump perfectly. I'm not a fast swimmer. Lana, you need some swimming lessons. Spend some time on a swim team. Get yourself moving. All right, first cutscene. We got about 10 minutes of them in a playthrough. Yep, I understand, don't worry. I will make sure the chef does not see me. All right. Well on our way. Go through. Thank you. Are we 3 hours in yet? Have I beat the game yet? 'Cause I'm ready. I'm ready for that end scene. When I get to run through this whole area again. And it will be the 30th time I've done so. Because I've had, what, 12, 13? Is this 13th attempt? I forget how many deaths I have. I didn't bother checking before stream. I didn't use my own commands. And I don't have it tied to my my stream deck to be able to just check deaths. I only have a button to add deaths. Which I could have turned that button off and switched it, because this is gonna be the final run. I'm doing it this time. There is no doubt in my mind. We're gonna do it. Doesn't matter that my brain has not been able to focus on anything today and I've only made a fool of myself. No more. I've made a fool of myself enough today. Now's my time to shine. Oh, I'm so tired of these cutscenes. But I don't want to encourage the cats to, like, play with me and hang out during the cutscenes, because they're not going to want to, like, chill out every time the cutscene stops. So instead I just have to sit here and watch the same cutscenes over and over and over again. Like, it's such a crime that I can't skip the cutscenes. Because doing this whole thing over and over and over again gets real tiring. At least there's the prime quality content of me panicking whenever I get close to death. And the soul-crushing, defeat when I realize that I have to start over when I'm 2 hours and 14 minutes into a 3-hour game. So, that's fun. That's good content, right? Like, I've never been one to want to play, like, Getting Over It, or Jump King, or Celeste, because, like, I know those games are designed and built to be frustrating. And if you can't keep a cool head and stay calm, then you're likely gonna, like, either panic or rage and not be able to beat it. I don't really enjoy those games, so why I decided to put myself through this is beyond me. There's no real reward for doing this with 0 deaths other than a little like JPEG that pops up as an achievement on Steam. That was a warm-up run. There we go. I've died 14 times now. Now we know. Yay. Okay, well. Like I said, that was the warm-up run. We got the warm-up run out of the way. Now it's my time to shine. I've just been sitting in the just chatting, like, portion of my stream for 20 minutes. Definitely. Not messing up this game on literally the first part you could actually die. So, glad we could have those 20 minutes to just chat amongst ourselves and, you know, hang out. And now it's time to shine. So, yeah. Yeah, we are having fun. So much fun. All right. I am so tired of this beginning scene. I'm so tired of it. I've also noticed as I've run through this area literally 20 times at this point that all of the characters are saying the exact same phrases. Like, there's not just like casual conversation. There's like 4 sentences they say. And then sometimes they whisper it, sometimes they don't. And that's it. That's all they say. Not gonna mess it up. Not gonna mess it up. This is a zero death run. We don't make mistakes. We only blame lag, because lag is a thing in a single player game that does not require online services, right? Yeah, probably. Probably. I'm also not a fan of the fact that when you hit the ground and roll, you can't actually get underneath, like, where you need to squat under, so you just roll in the exact same spot and it looks kind of awkward. I've noticed that. Have you guys noticed that? Because it kind of bothers me, to be honest. It's really quite the hassle. All right. I didn't mean to do that. Like, I did do that. That was not like the game just decided I want to be on top of the logs. I realized I was holding the up button, so it climbed up. So that one's on me. But like I said, I don't make mistakes. It was definitely intentional. Definitely. Okay. Glad we could visit our parents' graves. If they are. I still haven't bothered checking if they are. I just kind of realized that on, what, run 10, 11? And I've just stuck with it. Like, that is absolutely what they are, because my brain decided that's what they were 3 hours of gameplay ago. And now I refuse to believe anything else. I will not Google it and check. I will not figure out. I will not actually test my theories. But I theorized, and therefore that is my entire basis and opinion on what has happened. Because surely that's the correct way to form opinions, right? Definitely no other way. Like, I'm smart enough to know not to believe everything Twitter says. So instead, I just make an assumption and stick with it. Yep. Okay, look at that. Aliens have invaded. Who would have guessed? See you later, Elo. I will catch you on the flippity flip. We'll see Elo again later, because we're not dying this time. And instead, we are going to live. We are going to do the amazing things, like not die, because that is a key component in staying alive, is to not die. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I can assure you that is the life hack to remember. If you're trying to do a run where you stay alive, that means you can't die. What else? Oh yeah, maybe don't talk to the enemy robots and pay attention to what they're up to. Oh no, oh no. Okay. That was almost bad. I kind of outrun the bush. I also don't know what to do with my right hand in the early game. Like, it's just here. Like, I don't need it until I need to start, like, clicking buttons. And even then, there's very little button pressing early in the game. So I can just be here. I can like make a little llama. We can do a happy llama. We can do a sad llama. Mentally disturbed llama. Super llama. I can't do a drama llama. I need the other hand. I can give thumbs up. This makes it look like I haven't lost my sanity, right? Now I am going to need to use my right hand here in a second, because I'm going to have to pull some boards off the wall. But in the meantime, I'm just having a blast, hanging out with my hand, doing a little rock on action. Like, I don't still have not used my right hand so far in this game. I know there's going to be the boards you have to pull off coming up here in a second. And then after that, you don't need your hands again until you get to the next boards when you go into the cave at the end, towards the end, like right after you leave the village. And then you don't need to use your hand again for a while. So. Yep, okay. Yep. Gonna avoid that bad boy. Like, when they say it's mouse and keyboard, it's more of keyboard and sometimes mouse. Now, granted, I know this game was designed to be played with a controller, and you realistically should be playing platform games with a controller. But, like, why bother? See, here's when I finally need the mouse. 1 click, 2 click, and that now I don't need my right hand again. It's back to just kind of like chilling at my stomach. It's just sitting on the desk, kind of underneath the mic, but not really. Slightly in front, but definitely below the mic. I almost messed up right there, but I didn't, because this is the run that I don't die. We are doing it. I can promise you that much. Little jumpy jump. We're coming up on the second time I need to use the mouse. There it is. You see those boards right there? Click. Oh, very nice, very nice. Click. Oh, very nice. Done with that hand for a while. We'll need it here eventually. I also have the Q and E buttons mapped to the buttons on my mouse, so at least my hand gets to do something every now and then. Because if I was like interacting with stuff by only using my left hand, right hand's gonna get bored and real fast. So instead we focus on pressing buttons on the mouse. I don't think you guys can really see it that well, but I got the buttons on the side here. So there's one button right here. This is Q. Then right here, this one is E. This button where my middle finger is, not used. And then I got two buttons up here that can change my sensitivity. Because everyone knows you need to be able to change your sensitivity of your mouse on a platforming game. Or those are the defaults, and I just didn't bother changing them. And then I have one more little button right up here that's also not used. Come on, Cord, get back there. Thank you. So that's how my mouse gets used more than 3 times in this entire game. When I play other games, I map the mouse to it. Like Valorant, my abilities are these 3 buttons, and then my like reload and ults are up here. This button I don't use for Valorant. When I was doing Dredge, this was like the X button to get into and out of menu, to like leave menus or undock and dock. This was the F button to be able to fish. You know, stuff like that. That way I don't have to worry about moving my little fingies around. As everyone knows, the fishing game, you might need to panic and, you know, get your boat away. And what would happen if you were like already using one of your fingers to like fish? So it's always useful to keep in mind what's going on. That said, I really barely need to touch the mouse in this game. And I'm also at the point in how much I've played this game with a mouse and keyboard. I feel like if I were to try to switch now to a controller, I'd be worse at it. Because I'm not used to the controls. Not to mention I haven't held my Xbox controller in over a year. So if it tells me to press X, I'm probably going to hesitate on which button's X. If it tells me to hit Y or A or B, I'm not going to know which ones those are. I'm going to hesitate on it. I know I'll pick it up eventually, but like, I've never been inherently good at knowing like which one's X, which one's Y, which one's A, which one's B. I've never really just known on the controller, like, okay, just hit here and it's one button, hit here and it's a different button. I just kind of eventually learned, like, oh, I hit this button to do whatever. Like, my thumb needs, like, I just learned the muscle memory of where my hand needs to be. And I don't have that muscle memory with this game. Like I currently do with my hands. So I don't know, it just doesn't make sense for me to switch to a controller at this point. It wouldn't help. Instead, I committed to the mouse and keyboard lifestyle. I have to do it. Just like I committed to getting this 0 death achievement. So now I have to do it. We gotta see it through. No matter how soul-crushing it feels at times. Though, to be honest, there's a pretty good chance I might eventually just rage quit this and move on. Unless I happen to beat it this time and not die. That could very easily be what happens. Alright, I'm gonna need the mouse again. See, look at that. I get to click with my mouse. Woo, let's go. 10 out of 10 experience. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep just trying it. Why are you on top of the box? No, okay. That time I did that. I've been talking nonstop about how I don't use my right hand, like at all. Except now I actually need to. Like I need to do a little bit of clicky click right now. Oh, looks like I got stuck. I don't know why I had to put my mouse down. I can do everything I need up here. For now at least. So I can just kind of chill with my hand up here. Yeah. See, look at this. Look at this pro gaming. You point the mouse at your face, and it gives you that much better sensitivity. Because if you think about it, I can move my head this way while I move my mouse this way, and it's just like a finer... I'm not paying attention at all. But it's just like a more fine-tuning ability to, you know, be able to control what's going on. So that's definitely how it works. Right? Maybe, probably not, but I don't know. I don't know. You all are stuck with it for now. All right. Let's not get murdered by this pig today. Sound like a plan? I've died to this pig once, and then I've also just straight missed the jump once, which was honestly more embarrassing. So the goal is going to be to not die embarrassing deaths like I have in the past, and instead we're going to live cool lives and have a grand old time. So there's Shrine 1. 9 more to go. I also love how I said I wasn't gonna worry about the shrines, because that's just one more thing to think about, and I need to focus on the whole staying alive aspect. But so far, both of my best runs that I've gotten, at least to where the desert like area starts, has been when I'm getting the shrines. So clearly the shrines are what's helping, and if I miss a shrine, it's game over. That's definitely what's going on and how it's gonna work. Yeah. All right, Mooey, stay out of the box. Stay out of the box. He didn't stay out of the box. Whoever could have seen this fate coming. Well, suppose we could rescue him. No, I wanted you to grab the box. Thank you. Get that set up. That over here. Release the boy. Yeah, I love how the cutscene locks in and you're facing the wrong direction. So you have this cutscene of you just staring at a wall. That's one of the grand old little bits of this game that really just make it beautiful. Not the hand-painted art style. Not the relationship you form with your little companion here. And not the way the story progresses, you know, so beautifully over the course of 3 hours. None of that is what makes this game great. I am an idiot. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those days. Remember at the beginning of stream when I said I have an inability to stay focused on anything longer than like an hour. Does that prove it? Like we're really running with the ADD brain today. Like that is both deaths now have been because I was too busy rambling on to, you know, entertain you guys. I forgot about actually paying attention to the game, and then my brain snaps back to it like right when I realize I mess up something. Like I realized I was at like the first like really kind of scary jump. The one that like you only can do if you're at like already running and you jump like within the last couple, you know, within the last, I'd say like footstep or so of the edge. Otherwise you're gonna miss it. And my brain went, oh yeah, this is the scary jump. That means you need to be careful. And I just hit the space bar without even thinking about where I was. And sure enough, you can't add an extra like 7 feet to that jump. So instead I just kind of casually jumped off the edge and right down to my death. But at least Mui was free. Nice and safe. Nothing had gone wrong. Okay, but now everyone can listen to the voices in the village again and notice that they have literally like 4 sentences. Like when I'm just sitting here listening to them. There's 4 sentences, the occasional kind of like grunt or whistle, and that's it. Like even going through this whole area, if you pay attention to like 1 or 2 voices, it's all the same sentence. They just stacked it up a bunch of times so it doesn't sound different. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yep. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. No, I don't. I almost did not just mess up. Here, recreation of what happened. Also, there was the little roll again. How, like, Lana, like, jumps, lands, rolls in the exact same spot, and then I can crouch walk under the, I forgot what I was doing. Yeah, like, we'll jump, land, roll in the exact same spot, and then you can crouch under. It's not like a jump and, like, roll under the thing. Which is super inconvenient. I'd say it's almost as much of an inconvenience as having to watch the cutscenes again. And again and again and again and again. But, you know, I guess it's a good time. Maybe. Alright. The mouse is getting used. Retreat the hand back and have it nice and curled up against me. All cozy like. Oh yeah, I mentioned last stream, if I don't beat the game today, I'm going to start trying to do this off of stream. I'll still record with like this overlay and like my camera and face will be here, but I will not be live when I do it. That way I can just listen to my own music and really dial in and not have to worry about talking and like interacting with chat. I don't think that's part of the reason that I'm failing to do this, but it also means that I can I can just keep trying multiple times throughout the day and never have to like just sit down and be like, okay, we're trying for like 2-3 hours straight. I can try once or twice, go back and do something else, and then just keep like flipping back to it over the course of like the entire day. Because remember, I'm unemployed, which means I could play video games all day instead of just in the evenings when people are free to watch. The other option is I just go live and I put hours in live streaming this game, which I have also thought about doing. That way some of my other followers and friends who live in, you know, different time zones and have different life schedules could potentially stop by and say hello. But I don't know if I have the mental patience to be live that long, so if that's something you'd be interested in watching, by all means. Otherwise, I guess don't worry about it, it'll be okay. My other thought was just go live at my normal time and then just keep streaming till way late at night, knowing fully well that many people will have to go to sleep before I finish. But at least I will be live and continuing on. Kind of the one kind of unfortunate truth about this game is there's only like very few people in the category for this game. It's not a very populated category. Like many nights I will peek in and like, especially like when I stream and I'm like, let's keep it in the category today, because I try to do that at least once a week. I will try to raid someone playing the same game that I am. When I go to look for someone to raid when I'm playing Planet of Lana, I make sure I have the filter set for English. Other than that, I don't look at for anything else in terms of like overall like filters and tags and everything for a stream. I'll just look at like the thumbnails and viewer counts and everything and like see, okay, who's playing. With the exception of the first day this game released, there's only been like 10 to 15 total people streaming this game in English at any given moment. And that doesn't really give me a huge selection to look through and find someone. Which also means I could sit fairly high in the category, but there's not a lot of people coming just to the Planet of Lana category to try and, you know, watch someone play it. Because I'm sure, like everyone else who has watched a stream of Planet of Lana can relate to me having played Planet of Lana. It's kind of a one and done thing. Like, it's not one of those games that you can stay entertained playing over and over and over again. Like, do I seem like I'm having a great time right now? I'm barely paying attention to the screen. I just glance over every now and then to make sure I don't have to like jump or duck or something, and then I just listen for when the robots show up, and then I'll verify I'm not gonna die. Like, I'm fine right now, probably. When I'm looking right at the camera, I can see in my peripheral I have the game here, here, and here. So I'm vaguely aware of what's going on. But I'm still maintaining eye contact with you, which might be very weird if you're not used to just me holding eye contact forever, but you know. Hello, Pocket Leaves. I was not just rambling about how I'm staring at the camera and not paying attention to the game. How are you today? Thank you for raiding. How's it going? Hello, Doc. Cheese stare at us? Okay, I mean, I can. This is like the 16th, 17th time I have done this. I can rely on my peripheral vision. It's fine. How are you today? I can't really read chat out of my peripheral, but I can keep staring at you guys. It's fine. Who needs to look at the screen when you've played the same part of the game forever? Give it a second, the robot will turn around. Oh, I was farther back than I thought I was. Yeah. I was just kind of rambling and complaining about how, because I have to, you know, restart every time I die, because that's the whole permadeath thing. I'm getting so tired of the early part of this game that I'm barely paying attention to it, which is causing me to die because I lose focus in the game. But I'm glad you're doing well, Pocket Leaves. How was your stream? What were you up to? I've just kind of been blindly rambling about anything and everything today. My brain is just not focused in the slightest. At the beginning of the stream, I was talking about how there was like a construction like renovation like utility handyman that was working on the apartment next to me, and he said something to me in Spanish and was trying to say something to me in Spanish. And it wasn't just like a casual like hello, like this was like a full sentence, and he was like holding eye contact with me, so like he was clearly trying to say something to me. I had no clue what he was saying, but I recognized it as Spanish. So I was like, I need to tell this man I don't know Spanish. So I was like, maybe he doesn't know English. I know a little bit of Spanish from when I took it in high school, so I'm gonna tell this guy as best I can in Spanish I don't speak Spanish, and maybe he'll be like understanding. So I look this dude straight in the eye and go, "Comenesai spengo ga hanase alimasen," or whatever. You get the point. That's not Spanish. That's Japanese. I looked this dude in the eyes, trying to speak Spanish to him, and Japanese came out. I realized I said it in Japanese while holding eye contact with this man, and he's looking at me with this face of bewilderment, because he doesn't know what I just said. I don't know what he's saying, and now we're both staring at each other, being like, neither of us know a language that the other one knows. So that happened today. You played Stardew, pretty chill. Glad to hear. How is Stardew going? I don't think you're going for the completionist. Last I saw, you were in, I want to say you were at the beginning of summer. I was already a lurker mode person, glad I could pop in. Yeah, thank you, Doc. That's so embarrassing, right? Like, I tried being like nice to this guy, and like I could tell he was talking to me in Spanish. I recognized it as Spanish. He was looking right at me saying it, and he was like trying to make it work. And like you could tell like he was saying the same thing over and over while I was like holding eye contact with him, and I was looking at him like a little confused, and I was like, oh, I just need to like, let's clarify this real fast. Went to the brain and was like, okay, remember your high school Spanish. You can do it, cheese, you know. Let's pull this out of the bag. I've watched too much anime. Not hard set on completionist, just vibing mostly, start of fall. Okay, so I haven't missed too much then. Because I've been lurking in your streams lately. I wasn't sure if I missed one or two of the Stardew ones. Doc, you clipped that for me? Thanks, I was gonna have to clip it myself if no one did. Like, that is a great story to tell. It's fun, it's short, makes me look like an absolute fool. That is perfect Twitch content. That's what we're all here for. Not the gameplay. Especially if you've been watching me, you know, attempt this permadeath run. You've seen this part of the game like 15 times. But yeah, I don't know, it's not that bad of a game to play. I'm just tired of non-skippable cutscenes. It drives me crazy. Like this, I cannot skip through this, or the life of it doesn't work. Hello, pig. Who would have guessed you were gonna be here? Ah. Wait for him to turn around. All right, Mel, I will read your message in half a second. I gotta make sure the pig doesn't murder me. Because I should probably focus on the game for once. Okay. You're good. I've been skipping a lot of Stardew Thursdays myself. I've no... Is it just like a thing? Like, is it just like at this time of year streamers start skipping streams more often? Like, I don't think anyone's been like I know you've been traveling, but on the whole, I don't think that many people are traveling. But I've noticed a lot of people are like, hey, I'm gonna skip like my Thursday stream, or I'm skipping this weekend stream, you know, I don't feel well, or I have something else going on. Is it just like because it's that time of year, like we're like late spring, early summer, and now everyone's like getting their travel on? Is that what's going on? Because I've definitely noticed. It's not just you, it's not just me, because I know I skipped Saturday because I wasn't feeling great. Just like kind of across the board, there's been an increase in people skipping. Which I'm not upset with. Like, by all means, put your mental health first, put your physical health first, put your own safety and whatever first. Don't worry about like not being able to hit go live for a day or whatever. It just seems a bit strange that everyone's doing it at once. Summer's pretty busy for you, anime conventions and traveling. Yeah. Like, I know there's a chance I might have to go home. Okay, no, there will be a weekend I am going home soon. I don't know what date that is, or dates I will be gone and back home, because my little sister graduated high school, so my mom's trying to get all of the family together for at least like a dinner. So I'll likely be going home for a weekend. So there's likely going to be another Saturday stream I have to skip. Probably towards the end of this month or very beginning of next month, maybe around the 4th of July, which would be very convenient. Otherwise, yeah, I'm here. I don't have any plans. Welcome to the world of being unemployed. Am I going to have a job I need to worry about anytime soon? No. I still haven't bothered applying for a job. Haha. Alright. It is that time of year, summer travel, allergies, I think people getting sick. Yeah, like I've definitely noticed, like, it just... Maybe I didn't notice it last year because I was in the process of moving and trying to like change my own like entire schedule and life and everything. And previously I would have been in college, so like, I don't know, maybe that's part of it. I just never noticed in the past that like everyone does stuff this year or this time of year, because I was like, I'm in the middle of a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna be, you know, missing other people's streams. And at that point I wasn't streaming because I tried streaming when I still lived at my parents' house, but because my bedroom was the basement, I had such horrible internet connection that it just didn't work. Like, it was bad. Like, even if you dropped like the quality, like settings, whatever, of watching the stream down to like 140p, you were still only getting like 10 frames a second. It was rough. So I gave up on that and said, we will try again once I have my own place. Because at that point I was pretty confident I was going to have to move halfway across the country. So there was a whole mess with my own life, so I didn't really notice other people trying to do stuff. Jobs are so hard right now. Like, I'm trying to go back into retail and jobs I know, and yeah, like, I definitely want to do another engineering job. I have like a recruiter who's like working with me on trying to find a job. He texted me the other morning asking if I would be willing to work second shift, and I said, for a lot of money I will consider it. And he replied back, how much is a lot? And I was not expecting him to ask for a hard number. So I then immediately panicked, not knowing what answer to say. So I ended up like waiting like half an hour or so while I was talking to my one friend, because I know he just got a raise himself. And I was curious, like, what was his raise having been employed for about a year? And I was just going to add that like percentage whatever onto what I was previously making. And I'm like, that seems like it would be a decent number to say as like an initial, like, I will not accept anything lower than this, especially if I'm going to have to take a second shift job. like that would ruin my street. This is the jump I died on. Hang on. Okay. Like, second shift would ruin my stream schedule. It would ruin my social life and being awake at normal hours and all of that, because the timing of the second shift would be 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. which is pretty much the entirety of peak socialness for the United States across the board. So I was like, I'm going to need a small bit of an upcharge. If you are telling me I cannot have any form of social life, I'm going to have to start streaming in the middle of the day or crazy late at night, which, like, it'll be cool to have a bunch of Aussie, like, friends, but to uproot my life and rearrange my schedule like that, I was like, no. So instead of doing the semi-reasonable number, which would have been like a 3 or 4% raise, I said 125,000 for a test engineering role that works second shift. And he replied back and went, so that's a no. And I was like, if you can find a job that's going to offer me 125K a year, but it requires me to work second shift, then I will consider it. But otherwise, probably not for me. Also, friends who are not subscribed, ads are going to be playing. It's only 90 seconds. I can tell you with confidence. Actually, we're about to have to do a little jump sequence, but we're not doing a whole bunch. You're not going to miss a ton. Don't worry. This is a safe part of the game. I've yet to die on this part. When you guys come back, I can continue rambling about how I do not want to work second shift. Also, James, I see you. Let me know when you guys get back from the ads. They should be starting like any second now. In the meantime, if you can still hear me, let me know how you're doing, James. Pocket Leaves or Mel, like, yeah, I wanted money to give up the rest of my life. I had to do it. All right. I need to remember on this puzzle. Don't pull the lever too early. Because if I pull the lever too early, it's game over. There we are. There we are. Okay, give it a second. Give it a second. Don't not yet. Not yet. Now go. And retreat. There we are. There we are. Give me 1 second, everyone. I'm trying not to die. I'm trying not to die. One more second. I just gotta save the cat. Then I can go back to not paying attention to this. I did it. Oh, I did it. Oh, I did it. Literally the one thing I said not to do. Add death. Well, James, you're doing good. Glad to hear. Cooking some meals. What did you end up making for yourself? And Mel, you said, I don't think there's any amount of money that you'd work second shift for. Like, actually any amount of money? Like, what if it was your absolute dream job? Like, I know you want to do YouTube and content creation. What if you could only do YouTube and content creation between the hours of 2 p.m. and 11 p.m. and you get a guaranteed $500,000 a year? On the caveat of you are not allowed to work outside of those hours. Would you then consider it? Also, you had ads, then not anymore, James. Yeah, so it's supposed to play 90 seconds of ads. I've noticed it doesn't always. And that's just from my own existing in other streams. I noticed that sometimes the supposed 90 seconds of ads is like one 15-second ad and then nothing else. Other times it's a full 90 seconds. So I don't know for sure what is going on with the ads. I don't control that. I just tell it when to play the ads. In which case I use the stream like ads manager, so it does it on a timer and automatically, and then I can just see on my screen. So I can tell you guys with confidence there's 56 minutes and 31 seconds until ads start again. give or take a couple seconds for it to actually load and everything. But because I'm not the one who actually controls what ads play and all of that, like I assume it's kind of like YouTube, how like sometimes you'll get like the 1 30-second ad that you can skip, sometimes you'll get like a 10-second unskippable ad, other times you'll get like 2 like 10-second ads, but the second one you can actually skip. Like I assume it's kind of that thing where like it just kind of confidently... Lana, what are you doing? Yeah, my assumption is it just kind of wings it and whatever happens happens. You mean you don't handpick each ad with extreme care? You know, I tried to in the beginning, but then I realized I can only play the same like Genshin ad so many times before the bit isn't funny anymore. So I just hit shuffle on that bad boy and now we run with it. And then Honkai Star Rail like ads started popping up and I could only hear that someone was like an underworld doctor so many times before I just didn't care. Like even the 2D anime women I lost interest in because I had to see it so many times. Like the bit was done, the bit was over. They lost. Just like the whole bit of how many times can I crush my own soul attempting to beat this game without dying before I just give up on it? How many times can I run through this village and get annoyed that they only have 4 phrases that they speak and it's no longer funny? How many times can I point out when I land that like jump and roll, I don't roll under the little platform and I just roll in the same spot? The bit's only funny for so long and then it just becomes sad. So anyway, here's a Genshin Impact ad, completely breaking TOS. No, I'm kidding. I like the Fast and Furious commercials because no matter how many times I watch them, I can never figure out what made the director think cars can do that in movies. That's just Fast and Furious. Like, I'll be honest, I haven't bothered watching anything past the first 3 Fast and Furious movies. Like, I haven't seen 4 or higher. No interest in watching 4 or higher. And the reason is, by the time I watch Tokyo Drift, if I'm trying to like watch all of them in a row, like Tokyo Drift is number 3, I no longer have an interest in watching anymore, because how can you top Tokyo Drift? It's a great movie. Are you honestly going to tell me Tokyo Drift is worse than any of the current like 4+ Fast and Furious movies? I don't even know how many there are now. Are they on 9 or 10 at this point? Beats me. Like I said, I stopped at Tokyo Drift. That's all I needed. I want to say I've seen the original one a handful of times. I've watched the second one, I think, once. And I was like, that was cool. And then I watched Tokyo Drift, and I was like, this is about to be my whole personality. And sure enough, it has been. I've seen the first 3. I keep forgetting of the order of the movies. I've not seen any others all the way through. Yeah, so like the first movie is the whole like bit with like I forget all of their names. Yeah, with Paul Walker's character like becoming part of the group and has to build like a 6-second car or whatever, and he gets the Supra. That's that whole thing. I've only seen the one where the actor died IRL before it was done. I want to say that was 8. But yeah, Paul Walker, his character. Yeah, he's the one who passed away. Tokyo Drift, I think, was definitely the best. You can overlook them ruining a Mustang. I mean, think about how many JDM cars we've LS swapped. I think it's fair that they JDM a Mustang, because it was only one. I think... You mean fixed? No. No. You can't tell. Like, I can get behind like an LS Miata. Like, that's a Miata. You can throw whatever motor you want in there. But the number of LS swapped like RX-7s I see, kind of a crime. Anything less than 8 cylinders is a cry for help. If you want to argue technicalities, for every rotor in the Wankel rotary engine, you have the equivalent of 3 cylinders. So a 3-rotor FD-RX-7 is technically equivalent to a 9-cylinder engine. How's your 8-cylinder sound now, small block? But yeah, like, all the Fast and Furious movies, like, I don't go to the movie theater often, so like when a new one comes out, especially because I know I haven't been keeping up with the series and like all of them, I have no interest in seeing it. Like, I want to say the first time I saw any of the Fast and Furious movies, I was already in college at that point. So we're looking at like 2018 to like 2022, somewhere in that range, because I definitely wasn't still a freshman in college. Because I know the first time I saw Tokyo Drift, I was watching it with my roommate, and that was when I was a junior. And I know I had seen the other two for the first time within a year of that time. So somewhere between like midway through my sophomore year of college and my junior year of college is when I watched the first 3. I saw the first Fast and Furious movie in 2019. Yeah, see? No reason to watch them when they first come out. You'll eventually be able to find them for free on a streaming service or somewhere else. Alright. Let's not die here real quick. Yeah, I know. Like, I forget exactly which Fast and Furious movie is like the one that everyone was like, okay, at this point it's no longer about cars, it's about just making something super showy. I want to say it was like 5 or 6. But like, I guess spoiler if you haven't seen Tokyo Drift. So like, Han dies in the car accident when like the RX-7 gets wrecked, right? Apparently he comes back to life in one of the future movies because they were like short a character or something, and I was like, what? Like, again, I haven't seen past 3, so I can't confirm or deny if that's actually true or not, but like Han definitely like dies when his RX-7 gets rolled like 30 times because of the street accident. Like, that is absolutely a scene that happens in Tokyo Drift, and apparently he's just like back. Like, they don't explain it or anything, he just shows up and you're supposed to be like, oh, he must have survived. I don't know about you, but that at that point, not worth watching. Besides, if I'm gonna binge some TV, it's gonna be a TV show with an absolute banger of a theme song. Otherwise, why bother watching? That said, I've watched some very questionable anime because the opening was a, you know, absolute banger. But, you know, we don't question that part of my life. Me just saying I've watched questionable anime with great openings, you can probably figure out which ones they are. Oh, I hit the point I can't do my little jump. How am I supposed to go faster now? Pokemon has a banger opening, especially like the original, like OG. Oh yeah, that great opening. Not questionable at that. Like, Pokemon's just a great show, especially like the old school, like original series.
You know,
was it a more recent one? Domestic Girlfriend? Yep. Domestic Girlfriend. But okay, but Mel, here's the thing. I enjoy watching trash anime because it is trash. You add in the opening for Domestic Girlfriend, instant watch for me. I knew I was going into a dumpster fire. And then I watched the show. Turns out it was a dumpster fire that they had thrown fireworks into. Absolute nightmare. But it had an amazing opening. Oh, it was so fun to watch that. Like, the entire time I'm watching that, I'm like, this is so cringy. This is so bad. It's like, I heard jokes that it was like the Sweet Home Alabama of like anime, and I was like, surely it can't be that bad. Watched the whole thing, and I was like, wow, it really was that bad. I've read some atrocious manga here and there. I have read a very dumpster fiery manga myself, and it's because I saw a single manga panel that someone like clipped from like a screenshot of like the online like version and posted as just like an out of context like manga panel. I looked at it and just went, what the hell is this? Went into the comment section, figured out what it was, and read the entire manga up to what had been released to try to like find the one panel, only to realize it was from the most recent chapter. So I read like 130 chapters of this absolute dumpster fire of a manga, looking for a very specific panel to try and find the context behind it, because no one would say in the comments what it was about. And then I found out it was turned into an anime. So I watched the like 12 episodes or whatever of the anime. And it was worse than the manga. Because you could tell it was made by a fairly low like price studio. So like the animation wasn't great. Like at least Domestic Girlfriend has like good animation and it's like looks put together. Not this one. You had to see it through. I had to see it through. Because here's my thing. When I'm sitting there reading the manga, I'm just wondering, how would this even be animated? I was like, this is definitely never going to get an anime adaptation. Like, this is... half these panels are censored. What was it? It was, I forget the English name, but it's like Sonen Desuka, which is like, I want to say it translates to like, Are You Lost? It's about like a group of like girls who get like stranded on a deserted island and they're trying to like survive. And there's like one girl who's like, her dad is like basically Bear Grylls, so like she knows what's going on and she's like trying to help everyone. And she's like, we need to find a source of water, we need to like find food, we need to create shelter, like we need to get all this done. And the other girls are just like, it's a fun little vacation. Or they're having like an absolute mental breakdown. Sounds like a right translation. I don't know if it has a different English name though. That's my thing. So, because like technically like other shows, like Attack on Titan, if you were to just translate those words to Japanese, that's not the name of the manga or the anime. So like I know like there could be like a completely different English name. Or like Your Lie in April. If you translate Your Lie in April back to Japanese, that's not the name of the anime or manga. So I don't know if it has a different English name. But in terms of the actual phrase, I'm pretty sure that's what it translates to. Never heard of it before. Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like, I just happened to stumble across like someone being like, here's an out of context manga panel. And I was like, okay, cool. Bit of a localization when they translate it. Yeah, I know they do that, especially because like if the sentence or phrase isn't going to make sense in a different language. Because like Your Lie in April's like direct translation of a title is like The Girl I Met Under the Cherry Blossom Tree in Spring. Which, like, sure, that is in fact an accurate statement to what like the show is about, but like that is not a title that's going to catch like an English speaking and English knowing viewer's attention. They're gonna read that whole like sentence and be like, okay, that was nothing. But if you give the show a title like Your Lie in April, people are gonna watch it being like, what was the lie? And then you find out what the lie is, and you are emotionally devastated for months on end. But that's a completely different topic. Your Lie in April is such a good title though. And banger of an opening. Like opening 1, beautiful, amazing opening. The lie was redacted, no spoilers. Yeah, I rewatch it every year. I'm fully aware of what happens. Like, I lose my shit by like episode 2 because I'm watching all of it being like, oh my gosh, XYZ will occur. And I'm like, this is rough. Like, the first time I watched it, I don't think I cried until like the last like 2 episodes. I can tell you with confidence, definitely not Twitchy James is not about to watch Your Lie in April. I had a hard enough time convincing him to watch something other than a car show so he can hang out on stream with me, because he is my old coworker. In terms of anyone else in chat, I haven't seen people talking, so I'm not going to speak on their behalf. I'm just going to let them lurk, and yeah, we can avoid spoilers. But friend A hits every time. I have a playlist of piano versions that like someone did like all the covers of like the background OST on piano, and I used to listen to it while falling asleep at night. That was my way of coping with the anime after I watched it. I think that was the second or third time, because I always rewatch it every April. I'll watch an episode a day until like April 23rd or 24th, whenever you hit that last episode. I'll do an episode a day every April, and it's always rough. Every April. It's called Your Lie in April. You have to do it. Did you not see any of the memes on TikTok or like Instagram Reels of everyone's being like, it's April, you know what that means? And then it cuts to them just like curled up in a ball on the floor with like the opening one playing. You did? You know, some people actually commit to the bit and they watch the show every April. Which is how I watched the show. Because, like, Your Lie in April was technically the first anime I watched, if you don't count, like, Pokemon. And I know Avatar The Last Airbender is not officially an anime because it's from a US, like, studio. But, like, I didn't even see Last Airbender until I was, like, 22. But I've seen it, like, 2 or 3 times. I've watched it 4 times at this point. So yeah, so my friend was trying to convince me to watch anime, and he was having a hard time convincing me to actually watch an anime, but he managed to get my other roommate to watch anime one day. So he was like sitting in my, like, we were like, the 3 of us lived together. I gotta pay attention here, hang on. There we go. So like, he convinced my other roommate to watch anime, and I was like, and then like I was showering or whatever, I got out of the shower and noticed they were both hanging out in the one bedroom, and I was like, oh, let's go see what's going on in here. And they were just starting like the second half of episode 1, and then I just kind of sat down and kept watching it with them, and we made it through, I want to say 7 or 8 episodes that night before we all finally gave up and went to bed. And then it was probably another like 2 weeks before I finally was like, hey, where can I watch that show we were watching the other day with Nate? And my roommate was like, oh, it's on Netflix if you want to watch it. Like, we were on, like, you can start with episode 9. That's where we left off. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went and watched it. He walks into my room like 3 hours later with a bag of popcorn and just goes, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" And I was like on the verge of tears, like about to be emotionally wrecked, because at that point I was like pretty much at the end of the show. I want to say I had like 3 episodes left, so we watched it together, finished it, and then I was like, okay, anime kind of sucks. Why would you do that to me? And he goes, "Don't worry, it will get better." And I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to be as emotionally hurt. And then I was like, I'm not trusting you with anime recommendations ever again. No, I'm not watching these shows. They're stupid. I don't want to cry. My first anime ever was the vampire incest one. I have not seen that one. It's on my list of trash anime to watch if I ever get bored. I watched Your Lie in April mostly at work, working a solitary cleaning job, so you just wipe those bad boys up right away. Get rid of them tears before anyone even knows they fell. But yeah, so I finished watching Your Lie in April. I'm telling my friend, this show is stupid. I can't believe you would make me watch this. I am now emotionally ruined. I'm never watching anime again because of what you did to me. He then goes, "Okay, cool. Can I see your remote real quick?" And I was like, "Okay, fine. I don't know what you're about to do, but if you put on anime, I'm just gonna pause it the second you walk out of the room and not worry about it." He puts on High School DxD. So that was the second anime I ever watched. So I went from one of the saddest anime you could ever like force yourself into watching to one of the horniest. And I was hooked. I was like, I need more of this stuff. Whatever that first one is, don't make me do that again. But this, I can get behind. Just don't tell anyone who knows me IRL that I watch such shows. Okay, to be fair, Vampire Knight was fine as a story, very much a product of early to mid 2000s, peak Twilight days. Yeah. Some of the plot lines were weird, and the art was very typical of its time. I just have like the list of like really trashy anime and really sad anime, and every now and then when I get bored, I'm like, what's on the list? Do I feel like crying tonight? Nope, we're going to the trash anime column. Do I feel like hurting my feelings? We're going to the sad anime column. And that's just kind of how I work my way through my watch list. And then every now and then when I'm feeling action, I'll just, you know, check in on how some of the shonen stuff that I haven't watched yet are doing. But most of the big shonen anime I watch when they come out. And then I have the backlog of everything else that comes out. That's fair. Some trashy anime is sometimes so trashy it hurts my feelings anyway. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I've seen so many bad anime. Like Domestic Girlfriend and Rent-A-Girlfriend are two of the absolute most dumpster fires of shows. But honestly, with Rent-A-Girlfriend, I was genuinely upset at the end of the most recent season because I was like, our boy's getting character growth. He's becoming an actual man instead of not a baby. And then I remembered what the show was about and that the fact that it was trash. And I was like, oh yeah. Do you watch the YouTuber Mother's Basement? I do not. Most of my trash anime recs come from my friends from back in college, because my one friend JT, who occasionally will stop by stream, he watches just about everything that comes out. He knows like every anime. You could literally go to him and be like, I want an anime where the main characters are in college, there is absolutely no romance, and I want a dog that doesn't die. And he'll give you a list of like 6 or 7 shows. And he's like, if you want like a more like slice of life, you can watch this. If you want something a little more action based, you can do this. Like, if you want something short, if you want something long, here's all your recs. You used to be like him. Yeah, I'm not that great. I can recommend sad anime, I can recommend trash anime, and I can tell you about the very popular shonens that come out because I watch those.
Oh no.
I've fallen off of the anime know-it-all. I'm working on. I don't really have a particular interest in trying to know everything. I just watch, like, I'll literally get bored, go to Crunchyroll and be like, what's in the recommended? Or like I'll go to my watch list because I know I have a handful of shows in there that I still need to actually watch. Oh, how could I have almost forgotten? We gotta pet the cat. One more time. There we go. I've been walking these anime halls since I was 13. Yeah, nah, not me. I started at 20. Yeah, I would have been 19 or 20. So I'm pretty late to the game. Like, I started Attack on Titan the day before season 4 part 1 episode 1 came out, and I binged all of seasons 1 through 3 and finished it within like 20 minutes of the first episode of season 4 part 1 coming out. Like, I literally finished and my roommate was like, oh cool, the new episode came out like half an hour ago, we can watch that one now. And I was like, let's go. I'm down for another episode. He puts on that episode, and if you've seen how season 4 starts, you'll know what I mean. If you haven't, then don't worry about it. But I was like, are you sure this is the right anime? And I was like, and my roommate was like, yeah, like, trust me, like, I've read the manga, I know like what's going on. And I was like, if you say so, Chief, I'm along for the ride. I've committed to this. You caught up on AOT? Yeah. Supposedly, we're only about 2 or 3 months away from the second episode of season 4, part 3, the final season. You don't want anime to end, or Attack on Titan to end. I get that. Also, I'm sorry, I am having a hard time staring into the sun to read your name. Can I check over here? Ah. NFS Dar. I can read your name better over here when I'm not staring at my light. My apologies for not being able to read. But you don't want it Attack on Titan end. Yeah, my only gripe is how they keep claiming it's the final season, but they don't end the show. I'm like, don't call it the final season if you're not going to end the show. Made no sense to me. But NFS, how are you doing today? Welcome in. You appear to be new here based on the first message. Oh, you stay. Thank you. Also, Peak, my beloved. Yeah, Peak is very pretty. Bit of a weird vibe when she's doing the whole, like, I think I'm still the cart titan bit. But, like, I can understand that. But you binged seasons 2 and 3 and what was out of 4 last February over the course of 2 days. Yeah, that was like just doing seasons 1 through 3. Like that was a ride and a roller coaster. And then I think I finally go to tell my roommate I caught up, and he's like, no, like season 4 just started today. The episode just came out. You want to watch it? And I was like, okay. And then I started seeing all these characters I haven't seen before, and I'm like, did I miss an episode? Did I skip a season? Like, I wasn't sure what was going on. I was very confused and concerned. I was like, I don't know what's happening. And now they're milking the final season. Yes, it like I said, had they not called season 4 the final season, I would not be upset. But because they've been calling it the final season, and now we're on final season part 4 movie 2, can you really call it the final season if you've been airing the final season for 3 years? Final season part 3 part 1. Yeah, because it's technically like 2 like Nada movies. But yeah, it's driving me crazy. I watched season 1 in 2014 when it was new, and honestly lost interest during the hiatus. But seeing all the talk and that's what my one roommate was saying. He was like, yeah, like, I watched this show when it first came out. I've been waiting almost a decade for this, like, to get to this point. And I was like, cool, I've been waiting less than 48 hours. I'm along for the ride with you, bud, but I don't know what it was like to watch when it first came out. But I think part of the reason they're doing it the way they're doing it is because when Mappa initially picked up the show, they were supposed to do like a double core season 4 and then have the movies come out like a year later, or movies come out like a year later. But then there was some miscommunications and misscheduling and stuff, and then also just the timetable to be able to animate like a double core, you need a lot more time than you actually think. Not to mention they had Jujutsu Kaisen and a bunch of other stuff that they were animating, and plus they got the rights to Chainsaw Man and like all that, so it was like they physically couldn't manage to do like part 1 and part 2 as like a back-to-back and just have it span over the course of like 6 months. Because I think originally what the plan was is they do like from like winter, spring, so like January to like May, and then there would be like a break till January when the first, you know, movie episode would come out. Map is doing a lot. It's all super high quality. Yeah, like when I watched the first episode of Chainsaw Man and I saw like the CG in Chainsaw Man, I was like, I can understand why you're using CG. Like I've read the manga, I completely get it. Not to mention what they have on their schedule, and it wasn't even bad CG. Like it wasn't even like, sure, I know a lot of people get upset the second it wasn't even CG. There was some scenes that were CGI, but on the most part, yeah, it was still like hand drawn and stuff. But like when I was watching the CG, I was like, I can't even be mad about said CG. Some of it, yeah, some of it was. A lot of it wasn't. Or like what they would do is they'd use CG for like the background and then animate Denji into what the rest of the CG created, which again is fair. There are some bits that people claim are CG. Oh, that was scary. But yeah, I know. I remember there was, I want to say it was after the second episode came out or something, that there were so many people complaining about the CG in Chainsaw Man that Mappa released like the actual like back end, like while they were still animating it, part of like that scene that everyone was complaining about and being like, no, here it is when it was just sketches. We drew all this, so checkmate. Sorry, this isn't CG. And I was like, oh, Mappa's not fucking around. And I was like, honestly, good for them. Like, imagine being that animator or group of animators who spent months working on that scene for a bunch of like basically children, regardless of their actual age. They were acting like children, to then go and try and like slam their work, being like, I can't believe you used CG for this, it looks so bad. And Mappa's like, no, shut your mouth, this is hand drawn, this is what we did. And I was like, you go. It was a grand old time to see the sketches. And I want to say more sketches have come out since as well. Or maybe there was stuff for like Jujutsu Kaisen that they were showing off, just being like, hey, we're working on this. But I know Mappa's very like transparent about like, no, we're doing this ourselves. Like, don't think we're doing like we're being lazy with it. Like we're taking on all these like very expensive and hyped IPs because we know we can take them on and do them justice for what they're worth. and I don't think they've missed on one of them. Like, granted, I'm not the biggest fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, but that's because I feel the story is a little played out. I feel like this, obviously I don't know I haven't read the manga, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like the story is very kind of simple, Monster of the Week-esque, which, not bad, but not my thing. So I think the animation's great. It helps to make up for where I feel the storyline lacks a little bit, but yeah, I don't think MAPPA themselves have been any of the reasons for any of my complaints on any of the shows I've watched from them in quite a while. Ooh, you're still coming, right? Yep, he is. Okay, we're good. We're good. I want to lose my little cat thing. Or Mel, have you been watching Oshinoko?
Hola.
It's not on Crunchyroll, so you're gonna have to go to High Dive for it, or a different website if you know those ones. But I've been really enjoying that show. Like, just that's fair. I see it kind of like Utena, where the story isn't about the actual things going on, but the characters. Both are character-centered stories. Chainsaw Man is kind of a story about grooming and trying to build relationships. Yeah, like with anime, there's going to be a level of anime bullshit. Chainsaw Man has the whole grooming part as their bullshit, but that doesn't make the story bad. I've seen a lot about it though. I watched a video about revenge in anime and it talked about that. Yeah, so the writer of Oshinoko is the writer who did Love is War. So there was a lot of like hype going into the anime before it even started. So when they went to animate it, episode 1 is like an hour and a half long, because they were like, we don't want to break up this arc, this whole storyline. And they're like, pretty much this entire storyline that would be like 4 or 5 episodes is essentially just setting up the plot for the rest of the show. So they just made it 1 episode. They're like, don't worry guys, we're still going to do a full core of anime, but episode 1's going to be a long one. And then like the whole point of the show is about how media and everything, and like social media and celebrities and actors and pop stars, idols, and even like YouTubers and streamers, like all of that is like incredibly choreographed and like it's incredibly choreographed. It's incredibly like fake and kind of like surface level. Like, we're intentionally acting this stuff up because we know it gets us attention and gets us where we want to be in life. And like there's literally characters who are like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, like I'm a streamer, I stream to all these people, or like my whole shtick is I post to the equivalent of Instagram, and that's how I make my money and how I'm an entertainer. And I'm watching it and I'm like, holy moly, I relate too closely to too many of these characters. There are streamer characters, yeah, so there's literally like a character who's like, I'm a famous YouTuber. That is my like presence in the media world. I am a streamer, like I stream like doing all this, and they're like, okay, we need someone who has like a social media presence to help get my name out there. Who can I talk to that has that kind of presence? And they're like, talk to this person. You can be featured on their stream. So then they go and get featured on the stream, and there's like parts where like the main characters are like interacting with other people, and they're like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber, and if you want to post a video, talk to me about when to post and what time to post, how to tag your video and everything to get the best views. And then when they post the video, they're like, if we get 1,000 views, or I think they posted a tweet that had the video in it, and they're like, if this tweet gets like 1,000 likes in the first 10 minutes, it's going to go viral. And I was watching it like, hold on, guys. It's up to 800 likes. Like I got way too invested way too quickly. Adding Oshinoko to my list right now, it's worth it. Especially if you don't have to sit in the week gap that I had to sit through last week because they were doing a recap episode and there's nothing new. I was mad. The anime, My Love Story with Yamada-kun, I'm watching that one right now. I was actually watching that yesterday. I got to episode 6 or 7. His gaming and streaming career aren't the focus. Yeah. Like they don't make his streaming and gaming part of the plot, but I love that show. It's just one of those like wholesome, cutesy anime shows. I am enjoying it. I want to say when I went to start the show, there was 10 episodes. I know I have not caught up. So, don't ask me exactly where I've been. I also did not intentionally start that show on the thought that it was still airing. I thought it had already finished. I thought it was last season. Don't. Okay, now you can turn around, buddy. Come on. Boom. There we go. There we go. Skipping Loafer has also been a delight. I haven't heard of that one. What's that about? Also, Blueski, hello. Tips for how to fall asleep. No, my sleep schedule has been abysmal. It has been god awful lately. Like truly horrendous. There was a night the other day that I went to bed at 10 a.m. Yeah. Yamada-kun is a shoujo. Yeah, so there's less bullshit. But no, I just went to watch it and I was like, because so I finished ReZero, or caught up. Technically, there's going to be another season. So I caught up on ReZero and I was like, that was spectacular. What is in my watch list of shows that I like initially skipped over or whatever that I wanted to go back to? So then I went to my watch list and immediately saw Bocchi the Rock, and I was like, of course, I overlooked this show because I thought it was just going to be cute girls do a band. And I was like, I don't really want to watch a show like that. And then it became incredibly popular, and I was like, okay, I'll give the show a chance. How are you? No? Okay. So then because the show became popular, I was like, okay, I'll watch the show. And then I binged all of Bocchi in a single night. I watched the entire, all 12 episodes in a single night. And then I was like, okay, what's next in my list that I need to watch? So I literally just went to the top of my watch list and clicked it, and it was Yamada-kun. And I was like, oh, it's only 10 episodes. So peculiar. Let me go ahead and just watch the 10 episodes. It'll be quick. And then I realized it's only 10 episodes because only 10 episodes have come out. They're still airing episodes. So, yeah, Blueski, good luck on the going to sleep and getting up the next morning. I could, at that point, I would just commit to staying awake. I could never. That one would be very rough for me. But so Skippin' Loafer is about a girl from a rural area moving to Tokyo for high school. She meets a really laid-back guy. It's about their budding relationship, making friends. I mean, I'm always looking for the cutesy, wholesome anime. Like, I don't watch a ton of shonen and the super high energy stuff, but I get kind of bored of it every now and then. So, might as well, right? I'll definitely add it to my list, though. Feel free to remind me, because streamnesia is very real, and that's likely going to be out of my brain in, 3 minutes. Yep, go ahead. Climb up. Maybe I should go to work at 6 a.m. and get home early. that is also an option. I have done that before, where I just go into work early and commit to the lifestyle. It's really about how much can you tolerate and how much is like your job willing to work with you through that. Because if they're gonna get mad that you showed up early, then maybe don't. Shonen is the majority of the area. Yeah, so like I can really only watch like one, maybe two shonen like new releases at a time. But in terms of getting through a backlog of shonen, I have the hardest time convincing myself to watch any of that. Was it a good idea for me to stream 6 hours? Maybe. I had myself lurking on your stream for a little bit at one point, but I got to a point where my PC was starting to cook a bit, so I had to turn it off and go do some other things. Oh, I got scared. I got very scared. That was less scary. That was much less scary. Okay. I'm not super into shonen anime despite it being the most watched genre, so I feel yeah, like that's my whole thing. Like I will watch the most popular release, like, or most like anticipated releases when they come out. But past that, I have a hard time convincing myself to go into the backlog and watch the like mostly good shonens. Like if it was like, I get there are some very popular shonens that I have not seen. And I get that there will be shonens that I pass over because I'm not super into the category that are actually great. But there's also stuff that I've watched that everyone's like, oh my gosh, this is like one of the best anime ever. I watch it and I'm like, it was okay. Like I get a lot of flack when I tell people I was not particularly big on Full Metal Alchemist, and they're like, oh, it's because you didn't watch Brotherhood, and I'm like, no, I did. It took me a lot of convincing to get past like episode 40, and then once I hit that point, the only reason I was okay is I knew I was almost done. Like the entire time I watched that show, I was just kind of unimpressed with it, which I get. I fully understand Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood variant. It's older, and it was around before a lot of the more popular shonens. I went in knowing that. However, I was still kind of just... I didn't think it was like some amazing show. Like, it was good. I watched all of it. Struggled with motivation to watch it many times, but I just found it okay. Opinions on Hunter x Hunter. I have not seen Hunter x Hunter. It's in the list of shows I might eventually watch. Also, Blueski, you said your PC froze 2 times somehow, so you had to restart stream. That might have been one of when I disappeared. One of the times you had to restart. Because I knew at one point I looked and you were done. Streamlabs OBS did a fresh install and it worked. Yeah, Streamlabs, like OBS, is the same one I use, and when I first got like this PC, I went and like was getting everything installed, and it was like, we're gonna have to run in a not as like, you're gonna have to tune down some of your settings in order for everything to run smoothly. And I was like, I have an i7 and a 3070 Ti. I have a feeling my PC is good enough that I don't have to drop my quality down. And it was like, I don't know, man, you sure about that? You might want to only stream it like 480p. And I was like, I think I'm gonna be okay. But I don't know. I told it go ahead, send it on the 1080 60 FPS, and it seems to be okay. It hasn't gotten too mad at me yet. I would like to stream in 4K, but I got the average German Wi-Fi. Yeah, I have a Cat 9 cable, so I have pretty decent internet. It's not the best internet, but it works. Sunblade, welcome in. How are you today? Thank you for the lurk. Hope you enjoy. Also, Mel, you said Hunter x Hunter is really good. I've heard good things about it, but again, it's in that list of shows that I don't feel particularly motivated to watch. I was about to say, don't tell me I messed up the puzzle. I know this puzzle left, right, and center. When stream is lagging, then it's my German Wi-Fi. Yeah, I mean, I tried streaming from my parents' basement on supposedly good internet, but there was also like 5 others of like members of my family on it, so makes sense. Sunblade, you're not bad, just doing more Tears of the Kingdom. Are you even close to finishing that game? I know you've been on a more kind of, ADHD exploratory arc, so I'm not 100% sure how fast you're moving through the actual storyline. All right, let's get this going. We got to mind control. My cat now has mind control, everyone. Things are getting fun. I think I might just stay here until I have to go to work. I don't know how long you'll stream. So I typically will stream for 2 to 3 hours on a weekday. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark right now, but I've actually managed to get going on a life. So I'll probably just continue this life until I no longer can. Because that's how the whole permadeath thing works. I don't want to stop a playthrough with 0 deaths, join back in, and then be like out of focus. So right now I'm on a roll, so I'm probably just going to continue stream until this falls apart. Currently working on the Goron area. That would make perfect sense to me if I knew about that area, Sunblade. You gotta remember, I don't own a Switch, so I don't have the game. Does it 12-hour stream? No. So this game only takes about 3 hours to play through. And granted, I did not start this specific, playthrough at the, 3 hour, or at 0. I want to say I was close to an hour in. I don't know, you guys were here when I had to restart, so there's you can probably figure it out. I'm only about a third of the way in, so there's realistically about 2 hours to go if I'm gonna manage it this game. It's one of 5 areas in the game. It's the 4th one. Ah, interesting. See, that makes at least a little more sense to me as to where you are. But yeah, like, I don't have a Switch. I don't have the game. So realistically, I don't even worry about getting spoiled in the game and stuff like that. Because by the time I play it, it's likely going to be years from now. Yeah, you can come here. And I'm glad you're having fun. It sounds like Sunblade, you have to have a lot of hours in this game at this point. Like, there's no way you haven't hit close to 100 hours. Like, surely you're close to that number, over 250. Yeah, because I know you've just been doing the whole kind of exploring and having fun bit. You haven't been trying to, mainly focus on just getting through the storyline. All right, let's drop in. Over 250. My goal is to not have 250 hours in this game. It is a game that takes 3 hours to play through once you know the puzzles. It took me 4.5 hours on my first playthrough. At this point, I have like 25 hours of this game because I'm trying to get this zero death achievement. Go ahead, go ahead. That scared me. I was on my feet. I was literally just standing up, like sliding like this for a second. I got very worried. A lot of side stuff. Yeah, I know there's a lot of side stuff you can do, and it's an open world, and it's like, isn't it like 4 times the size of Breath of the Wild or something like that? And Breath of the Wild was already a massive map. 3 times, yeah. I knew it was some multiple, roughly, and like Breath of the Wild was already known for having a massive map. So I can understand there being a lot of side stuff to do. Planning on getting back to streaming on Sunday. I figure a month long is... Yeah, because I know you said you didn't want to stream Tears of the Kingdom. The graphics of this game are gorgeous, aren't they? It's such a pretty, like, hand-painted style and everything. This, like, the graphics and, like, art style is why I initially decided to give this game a chance. And then I noticed in Steam there was a zero death achievement. And since then, I've been slowly losing my sanity to a very pretty game. You'll be continuing your master mode playthrough of Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Because I knew you dropped that. You were playing that to prepare for Tears of the Kingdom. And then Tears of the Kingdom came out and you kind of vanished from the internet because you had a new addiction. Which makes sense. I don't think anyone was surprised, especially because you gave everyone a lot of warning. You're like, I am going to be playing this game and not on stream. I will be doing everything I can to play this game. My cousin played Breath of the Wild a lot. I have never played a single Zelda game. Which, to be fair, I haven't exactly had a lot of... please, Boulder. Okay, Boulder, I am alive right now. So if you could not... Like, can you do me a favor? And entertain yourself not on my desk? Is that something you can do? Maybe. Kitty. Yeah, it's a kitty. Also, I believe some... Advil, yeah. I was about to say, I believe some of you guys are going to be getting ads here. I forgot to warn you guys ahead of time. Kitty needs attention. I have been unemployed. He's gotten far too much attention and is now suffering from separation anxiety and refuses to exist in a world where he doesn't have a line of sight of to me. Is that right? Do you want to tell him you're needy? You are. Do you want to tell him you're very needy and you scream bloody murder when I try to go to the bathroom and shut the door to the point you can't push it back open? Would you like to admit that to the internet, people? Does that sound like something you can do? No? Okay, well, consider it. Yeah, no, I'm putting you down. Stop holding on to me. Me when your bird is on your shoulder and you're gaming. Yeah. Like, I don't really mind him, like, just hanging out.
Hola.
My problem is when I'm doing this, like... That was a bit of a weird bug. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's okay, I'm not dead. Welcome back, Sunblade. I let the kitty go. He was not willing to admit that he is actually the problem child. So... And I was talking about how he has become incredibly dependent on me, and if he cannot maintain line of sight with where I am, he just screams bloody murder and acts like I have abandoned him for everything in his life. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm going to the bathroom. You know darn well that this door does not lead to the outside. Let alone what's going to happen when I go back to work. Oh, and there goes Scuba. See, Scuba just likes to hang around near me. Doesn't really need to be like all up in my face. So she'll just sit on the floor like kind of right behind my chair or like next to me, or we'll sit in the doorway and just watch what I'm up to. Never feels the need to bother me. We'll just hang out there. Every now and then she'll come up to like the side of my chair and like try and get my attention. I'll pet her for like 10-15 seconds and then go back to what I'm doing, and she's perfectly content to just go back to laying down and not worrying about it. Boulder, on the other hand, jumping on my desk every 45 seconds if he's awake, and cannot stand if I walk into another room and he can no longer see me. Or God forbid, like I said, I go to the bathroom or I take a shower and I shut the door. He could not handle that. And I'm like, calm down, buddy. It's not that big of a deal. Your favorite animals is a black lagoon. I don't think I'm familiar with what that is. I want to say it's a bird just from knowing you and how you have birds, but I could be wrong. Anime. Oh, I just don't know how to read. Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I don't know how to read. I'm not familiar with that anime in that case. Haha. Yeah. Yeah, I cannot say I'm familiar with the anime. We gotta be careful. Sadly, only got 2 or 3 seasons. I am really hoping and praying that they announce a season 2 for Call of the Night, because I've been reading the manga and I own copies. Like, I own physical copies up to volume 12 of the manga, and they only cover the first like 7 or 8 in the anime. So I'm really hoping that show gets a season 2, because it is so good. Like, it actually, like, I hate to be like that guy who's like, just trust me, bro, like, the manga is amazing, but like, I feel like they barely scratched the surface in how far the story progresses in what they covered in the anime. So I'm really hoping that it gets a season 2, so that, like, even if it's not like an incredibly popular anime, I at least get to see it. Plus, it was a very pretty anime, because it's basically lo-fi, the anime. At least season 1 is, and the way they animate like nighttime, like there's like the purple and yellows and pinks and blue like glow from like neon lights and everything. It's a very aesthetic anime. Not to mention the opening and ending are by a band called Creepy Nuts. And that's pretty cool, because it says nuts and it makes me giggle. The good ones only got like max 3 seasons. Yeah, there's not a lot of shows that manage to make it past like season 3 and still be good. Unless you look at like the absolute like top of the top. Okay, well. Time for Mui to act like a spoiled brat. Mel, you come back ready to fight, don't ya? JoJo is considered top of the top. Yes, JoJo is in the list of like the like mega popular, like even people who don't watch anime at least can understand and will recognize like some of the more popular scenes and references in JoJo. I'm talking about like that like mid-tier, like it was really popular, but it's only popular amongst like already established anime viewers and never manages to break into just like mainstream media. To be fair, a lot of anime is just running out of manga materials, or the anime derails from the manga. Yeah, that's a thing. So, I mean, like, I understand why, but there's a lot of parts where, like, the show just kind of falls off, which I don't know if it's because they're either trying to stretch what material they have, or if they ran out of material and they're trying to wing it and make filler episodes, or if the original like author was put under a ton of pressure to try to crank out chapters faster so they have something to animate and it just fell off. But there's a handful of shows I've watched where it's like once you get to like past season 2, it's like, oh, I could tell we caught up to what had already been written before this show became a show. Osamatsu got season 3 and a couple movies. I think that's an amazing anime. But it's not super big in America, huge in Japan. Yeah, I know there's a handful of stuff like that. Like, of course, now I can't think of anything. Like, there's like Call of the Night, which is probably my favorite anime and manga. So I will proceed to preach on it as if it were the gospel. But that show has a very specific target audience. And if you are not in that target audience and like demographic, chances are you're not going to find the show too great. Like the whole target like audience of that show is people who are sick of the whole societal pressures, doesn't want to work a 9 to 5, has more fun hanging out and being like a creature of the night. And you'd rather like the reason that you become a creature of the night and you stay up late and you do all this like other stuff like I am actively doing right now is because you're not satisfied with how your life is during the day, which leads you to trying to live a different life once the sun sets so that you can have enough satisfaction that you're willing to go to sleep. Like, that is a very specific target demographic. And if you're in that target demographic, everyone I know who has watched that show has loved it. Everyone outside of that, Call of the Night does sound like a banger. Yeah. I mean, again, you gotta deal with the whole, you know, kind of anime bullshit. Fair warning, the main character, Ko, he's 14. But if you can get past that part of it, which they very rarely touch on his age, but like the fact that like he hit 14, he was like a fairly popular kid in school. He had great grades. Like, he's not like some kind of like depressed loner dropout, you know, just wait until I have like my superpowers kind of like character. He's just like I got tired of this and I am ready to move on and pick my own life and not listen to what others are saying I should do. Assassination Classroom is good. I have watched Assassination Classroom. I don't think I can get past 14-year-olds existing. Honestly, a tragedy that they do. Like, come on, bro, just be born at 15 years old. It's not that hard. Like, you feel me? Cool, but you get it, right? No, you just want to play with my laptop cord. Fair enough. Actually, if I spin this way. There she is. You want to say hello? Strange. I love the scene where they're joking about 7-1 in the World Cup. Yep. I love when I see animes and mangas and stuff like reference real world events and stuff happens. Yeah, yep. I know what you're talking about. I know what 7-1 means. I was at Pizza Hut during that game. And I remember that because there was a very sad guy who apparently had placed like sports betting on, yeah, apparently he had a lot of money on Brazil and it didn't happen. So he gave it his best shot, and I got to learn all about it because I happened to be in the same Pizza Hut. And Brazil was host of the World Cup. Sucks when you get humiliated. Just you wait. Whole North America's hosting next one. Can't you wait for not only the US, but also Mexico and Canada to just fall apart in the next one?
Hello.
And then all the memes will come up of people being like, it's called football now, not soccer. Can't wait. Don't ask me what the autocorrect is. I'm not the man in charge. Like, I just work here. Next one is in the Americas, yeah. Because they had all the memes when the US and UK tied in the group rounds this past World Cup. And everyone was talking shit on the US, being like, oh, you know, they're gonna get destroyed, like they don't stand a chance, they're never gonna win a game. And then they tied the UK, and all the memes started surfacing being like, oh, like you were making fun of us saying we were gonna get blown out by every team that existed. Turns out you're equal to us. And that was very much a thing. Come on, make the jump. Well, the US football teams, yeah, they're still not great, don't get me wrong. Not spectacular. But at least they're not an embarrassment. Jump. Like, I know the women's team can normally do pretty well, or used to. But I've never too closely followed the whole football, soccer world. Was never particularly interested in it. Last time Germany passed the group stage was 2014 when they won. I couldn't have told you that. I knew the whole 2014 with the 7-1 and whatnot, but yep, up and over. Okay. But yeah, 2018 and 2022 couldn't pass the group. Yeah. Like I said, like I've never really followed that whole sport at any level, any league. So when like the World Cup comes up, like I'm aware that it's happening, and I'll check in to like see what the places are and whatnot, but I don't have a particular interest in any of it. Same thing for like American football, same thing for baseball, same thing for hockey. Like I don't really follow those sports, so I don't have the most to say about those sports. I tend to know like a good level of surface information about all of that. All right. Now, if you want to know about F1, I can tell you all about it. I can talk for ages on F1. Or my entire TikTok For You page right now is the Garage 56 entry for the 24 Hours of Le Mans this weekend, and how they modified a NASCAR so that it can run the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So I can talk about that if you want. But in terms of more traditionally popular sports, I don't know too much about. I know a good amount of information about anime. I got some reasonably hot takes on anime and manga. Probably the hottest one is whenever I mention that I don't think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was that great. Also, Boulder, I can hear you. I don't know where you are. Oh, you're back there. Okay. I assumed you didn't need anything, but I could hear you feeling the need to make noise, so. The next big football tournament is Euros 2024, like the World Cup, but only European countries. Germany is the host. Okay. So, we got some time. A little bit of time. Germany needs to get their shit together before then, it sounds like. But there's time for them to do it, so it could happen. Oh, Scuba, don't you dare go under my desk. Hey. I know exactly what you're trying to do, and that's eat the cords. Let's not do that. Thank you. I got a friend in Georgia who's always supporting Spain. Are you trying to call out a specific person? So I think it's safe to say she wants Spain to win. Hey. You know, give me some good highlights, some good memes. You don't know her? Okay. I was gonna say, you know, just give me good highlights, give me good memes, give me plenty of entertainment, and we can let it run at that. And we'll get to see exactly what happens and how the world progresses. I was trying to wait for the camera. All right. There are many people living in Georgia. I didn't know if it was a call out. I thought I'd ask. I didn't say anything. I made no accusations there, Mel. Don't be going painting this on me. Yeah, I know a handful of people who are rather into soccer. Or football for you, Mr. Germany. But it's never been my thing. The only American football I watch is the Super Bowl. Can't tell you the last time I watched a, you know, traditional football match. It might have been when I played in one for my college intramural tournament. Americans in Georgia when they realize there's now a country. Yeah. That's why I specify sometimes. That's why whenever someone asks where I'm from, I openly state I'm from Illinois, and then whenever I say I'm from Illinois, I always have to specify I'm from not Chicago, Illinois. I'm from Central Illinois. Because whenever I say I'm from Illinois, they're like, "Oh, do you live in the Chicago area?" And I'm like, "No, I do not. I live in redacted city." Or I'll just say Central Illinois. And they're always just like, "Oh, I don't know where that is." And I'm like, "Of course you don't know where that is. It's not Chicago." Chicago should be its own state, right? Chicago is basically its own state. Because if you're not in Chicago, I thought I was too slow on that button. Not them not them asking you to dox yourself if you did live in that area. To be fair, Chicago is a pretty populated area. So, just saying you live in like the Chicago like area. Like if I were to say like, Blueski, I know you've said it, or I want to say that you've said it at one point. I do not remember what it is. One of the 16 German states. I remember there was one time in Melstream you were talking about the differences between the German states and which ones were most like which US states and all that. Do I remember which one you are from, or if you even mentioned which one you're from? Beyond me. Yeah, like I don't mind mentioning that I'm in Illinois. Like it's whatever. I say all my times and everything in Central Time Zone, so people assume I'm either in Chicago or like down in Texas. And then when I say I live in Central Illinois, they're like, "Oh, so like cornfields," and I'm like, "Yeah, cornfields. Have fun trying to find a reason to come to the city I'm in. You won't find one, haha." Which is also part of the reason I'm so casually ready to give that information to where I live, because it's like, on the odd chance you end up in the city that I live in, sure, why not? Let me know. That said, I'm not going to tell you which one it is. Quick drop down. There we go. Come on, cat. I can't say I know any others. Yeah, James, Berlin is a city, not a state. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, living in rural America is like that. So, like, I live in, like, a larger town. I forget what the actual population is, but, like, you can see my you know, city's name on the map without having to scroll into the point. You can count the dots on the road. Wait, Blueski, I'm remembering now. You live in a state of constant tiredness. I got you now. See, I figured it out. That's the state you're from. Constant tiredness. No. I almost called my cat away from that button, and that would have meant I was fucked. Don't give population numbers that give you away. It's more than a couple hundred, but yeah, I'm not going to give the exact number. But like, my point is, I don't live in like a one stoplight town. There's like an actual downtown area. That's fair. Past couple of places I lived were small, but not like rural. Yeah, like, it is a city. It's not like, oh, look at that, guys, we got a traffic light because our population hit 1,000. Which, I'm sure eventually I'll slip and say what city I'm from. Google Illinois cities with that population number. Yeah, like, I know what you're saying, but like, I'm not particularly concerned. I like to think I'm pretty good with not giving away personal information. I'm sure eventually I'm gonna let it slip, but joke was, yeah, I saw the little J. Don't worry, I caught you. Blueski's determined to give away where he's from. There's a state in Germany called Brandenburg. I want to go and see how many folks are named Brandon. Maybe a lot. Oh, wait. I didn't mean to do that. Come on. Blue's probably going to give his mother's maiden name here in a minute. Like, give him another, you know, probably 5 minutes, We're gonna know his mother's maiden name. We're gonna know the name of the street he grew up on. Blue, while you're at it, do you want to mention what your first grade's teacher's name was? Yeah. All of you visit me now. You can't tell because the game is currently on your guys' screen, but I'm actually not playing the game. I'm buying myself plane tickets to Germany right now. Not the security questions. Here's my IP address. Sometimes you just gotta give it all away. Make sure the information is so public no one can try to blackmail you with it.
Huh?
Right? That's what the just chatting screens are for. When you just info dump on your own lore, and then everyone knows every embarrassing thing you do, so no one can hold it against you. Isn't that what Christian did? Maybe. Bavaria is our Texas. I remember reading that phrase in the past. And I know you've also mentioned which one is the equivalent to Alabama in terms of the jokes that come from it. Yeah, I know. I've seen all these jokes before. Don't ask me to remember them, but yeah. Starland is our Alabama. See, hey, hang on. I gotta make sure I'm far enough over, but not too far over. Yep, right there. All right, go. That was probably too high, but it'll give me plenty of time. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, that was way too much time. I did not need that amount of reaction time. Well, I'm just chilling right now. Don't mind me. Because the Starland is our smallest state, and because there are so few people. Yeah, okay, I get it. It's not quite the Alabama meme, but it's pretty much the Alabama meme. Because Alabama's not like an unpopulated state. We just meme about how they marry their cousin. Sometimes their sister. Occasionally their mother. It happens, you know? Right about there. Come on, I got places to be. Nailed it. Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta turn this on. I think incest in Alabama is illegal. Well, yeah, that doesn't stop the jokes. Those jokes are gonna be made regardless. That's wild. There's a few states with incest. So it's not like you can marry your sister. I want to say there's a couple states where like a first cousin is allowed, but I think a pretty general rule of thumb is you got to get to at least second cousin. Alabama just got to be the one known for it. Yeah. It's like when people started memeing on the just girly things, like posts way back in the day. Like it was just kind of the like just Alabama things. Like it wasn't actually the fact that it was Alabama, it was just the one state we picked to meme on it. Like how everyone hates on Ohio. Trust me, there are lots of boring states, but we have decided Ohio is the worst of them. I think it was the state bordering Canada. What? The most German US state? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Michigan, because that's where the auto industry is. Oh, look who came to stop by. Yes, thank you. I forgot about this guy. Oh, I was not ready for that guy to show up. Oh, that gave me such an instantaneous level of panic. Yeah, Bluesky, I don't know off the top of my head which state is the most German. %100% of American. Well, here's the thing. We have our American way of saying it, and if you don't say it that way, people try to correct you. I think the states with the heaviest German population are the Dakotas, in which case that would be North Dakota if we're talking about borders Canada. Was North Dakota. There we go. See? There you are. My guess was Michigan, because auto industry. If the big three had been poaching from Germany, I figured that could happen. Yeah, if you say like Porsche, everyone knows what you're talking about. If you say a Porsche, most people will know what you're talking about, but they're going to question why you put the extra sound on it, and just they're going to assume you're like from Boston or something. I saw a video about correct pronunciation for car brands, and the Americans in the comments were like, Germans can't pronounce their own brands. Yeah, like I get that like sometimes brands are being pronounced wrong because of the language, whatever. But to be fair, we pronounced Nike wrong. Like the whole like Adidas thing, like sometimes it's just like the translation. And so do American. Yep, there we go. I just said that one. Yeah, but like sometimes it's just the thing that you do. Like if you say it the different way, everyone's gonna just be like, why are you saying it differently? And you're like, well, this is the correct pronunciation, and then you just get made fun of. So sometimes it's better to just conform. This is one of those rare occasions. Otherwise, no, be your own person, be creative, have your own fun, be who you are. But every now and then it's just better to conform. Just call it Adidas when you're in the US. Like it, save yourself the hassle. It's that whole thing. Are you guys ready for a beach episode? We pronounce Nike like the word like, so it's Nike. But instead of, yeah, so like Nike. Tomato. British people have weird names for their car parts. James, do you not like calling it a bonnet? Where's the fun in that? Nope. Or you don't like spelling tires with a Y? Like, it just makes it sound fancier. It's part of the fun. Let me move the lever to change gears. Yeah, I find when I'm talking to people about like my own car tires, I will spell it like TIRES. But when I'm talking about Formula One and tire like strategy and who's running what tires, I spell it TYRES. And I'm like, man, I just use both spellings, I guess. Or like they spell curbs for like the side of the road, like the curb and the drainage ditch and whatever. In the US, it is CURB. But when I'm talking about Formula One, I spell it as KERB. Because that's what everyone else calls it. Like in one sentence, I use British and American term. Yeah. Like color is spelled differently, favorite is spelled differently, tires, curbs. But like I noticed I will flip between the two of them depending on if I'm talking about Formula One or not. And I'm typically not even talking about Formula One to like non-Americans. Like I don't just have like a friend in the UK who's like talking to me about the tire strategy. One of my American friends was like, "What's a lorry?" Yeah. That one doesn't make too much sense to me, but you know, like that's one of the words I don't intermingle. I just call it a truck. It's a truck. Now I will admit one of the American phrases that I don't understand is why we call it a semi-truck when it's the largest one we have. At least on, you know, public roads. Like, why is it called a semi-truck? Am I supposed to assume that it is only part of a truck? Like, you know, like the giant 18-wheelers? Like, yeah, that... You're gonna mean to tell me the 18-wheeler is only part... Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I almost cried. Oh, we're gonna... I don't know how the British call pickup trucks. Are pickup trucks called pickup lorries? I don't know. Jeez, it's called a semi-truck because it doesn't have a bed and can be only used for pulling trailers. Last I checked, that's a full-size truck to me. They're bigger. And you so rarely see a actual truck, by your definition, pull a trailer. Yes, sir, I am not messing around here, so... A full-size truck can do both. By your definition, the only full-size trucks I've ever seen are dump trucks at that point. And they weren't exactly big. Look, I just like the thought of there being like an absolutely massive version of a like imagine like a semi-truck, but like twice the size, takes up 2 lanes, is like an extra like 50 feet long. Like how people always joke that because the, you know, term casual sex exists, that it implies the existence of competitive ranked sex. It's that whole bit. I'm doing a bit. And would it not be funny to be like, oh yeah, you know, the full-size truck is coming down the road, and then you like turn around and it's just like taking up 3 lanes of traffic. And just absolutely massive. All right. You mean you don't only do you mean you don't only do that Blueski, I play video games for a living right now. I don't do any of it. The last Kraftenwagen? That's my guess on how to pronounce that. Alright. I will admit, I'm getting better at flying the robots, and that's going to be incredibly crucial for later in this game, when I make it that far. Ah. Okay, I can hear the cats running around doing something. I am not sure what they're up to. Oh, look, there they are. Boulder, did you pick a fight and now... Boulder absolutely picked a fight and now regrets having picked the fight because Scuba's winning. Hey, could you... No, not you. You want nothing but attention. You, on the other hand, who's about to make a mess. Give me 1 sec. All right, we're back. Cat decided to get a toy stuck halfway under the Excuse me, sir. Yeah, I managed to catch you before you managed to pull my mouse off the desk because you fell, idiot. Yeah, Scuba got a toy stuck halfway under the dresser, and could you chill out for half a second? Just half a second, baby. Yeah, so Scuba got a toy stuck halfway under the dresser and was starting to like violently shake at it, trying to like get the toy back out. Couldn't do it, so I grabbed that so that she wouldn't like keep shaking the dresser that then shakes the bookshelf, which could potentially knock stuff off the bookshelf that I don't want to have to clean up or let break. So I did that, and now Boulder's jumping on the desk every 30 seconds. You, when I found out who founded Volkswagen? Yep, and there's a reason the Beetle has the nickname it does. Okay, this is a threat. This is a threat. Oh yeah, surprising how fast you back up now. All right. We got 9 out of 9 shrines so far, baby. The People's Car. Yeah, that's the nickname. Nothing else. Well, we've gotten all 9 shrines we've come across so far. We're doing spectacular at this. And I'm fairly confident I got all of these, which I would notice if I hadn't and could, you know, head back, but the VW thing was pretty cool. I guess. Okay. You chill out right there. Okay. Kind of fun to think about car brands nowadays used to produce tanks and stuff. Yeah, like the Spitfires during World War II were built like a couple miles from the town I grew up in as a child. Hey. Remember when I talked about not being a problem? Yep, go away. Thank you. You, on the other hand, aren't going to listen to me, even if I said please. It was a blank canvas for you to turn into anything. Yeah. I've seen a lot of Beetle like dune buggies. Like, even out around here where you don't have like massive sand dune areas around. Because like when I grew up, I was in Michigan, which granted it was several hours away, but Sleeping Bear Dunes was like a very popular vacation spot. So people had side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, dune buggies, sand runners, like all that stuff. All over the place. And then I moved here and I was kind of shocked at how many dune buggies and like sand runners and stuff I still saw. Like I expected the side-by-sides, the dirt bikes, the ATVs, because like those are used on, you know, just running around farms, and there's trails and stuff around here. Like it's not like there's only corn in my area. But I was surprised that like I still see like the actual like sand dune buggies and stuff, and I was like, okay, sure, I guess that works. I don't get it, but you guys seem to get it. Then again, I've never been a fan of the off-roading whatever. Like it's fun, but it's not my scene specifically. I prefer going to a racetrack. Like I don't, if I got to pick between, you know, taking a dirt bike or an ATV off-road or taking a car literally other than my own current car to a racetrack, I'm going to the racetrack. So I don't know. Difference in what we enjoy. Actually, hang on. I gotta move over here first so I can see where the robot is. If you off-road illegally, the world is your racetrack. You see, my mom used to joke all the time that any vehicle is an off-road vehicle the second it leaves the road. So I don't know, I think there's some truth to that. Alright, now I gotta wait. Yep. I remember this robot's pattern. That is a good point. It is a good point. And every now and then it comes up as a joke in my family. Because we'll go to do something. I'm not really sure where that story was supposed to be going. Instead we're gonna restart, and the one time I got my car stuck in a ditch during a blizzard, and I called my... No, I was driving home in my own car, and my mother was driving home in her car and was like 10 minutes behind me. So I slid, like I was waiting at a light to turn left into my neighborhood. And because it was snowing and everything, it was icy. And then the I got a chance to go, so I start to go. I like turn the wheel, start to go, and then the car just like I lose traction, and I'm just moving forwards at like 5-6 miles an hour, and I just very, very slowly am just like sliding, bump up over the curve, still sliding, drop down into the ditch, stop. Not reckless, not dangerous at all. Slide into the ditch. I'm like sitting there. I realize my car's stuck, so I like go to get out of my car to like make sure there's no physical damage to the outside of the car. But I didn't hit like a tree. I didn't hit like a light post. I didn't hit like a traffic post, any of that. So I was like, I'm pretty sure my car's gonna be fine. And my car was fine, like once we got it pulled out. But in the time it took me to just kind of do a quick walk around of my car, my mother had caught up to me, and like, so she like pulls into like a driveway or like just kind of like into the neighborhood, and then comes to like walk over to like make sure I'm okay. And she was like, and like she's looking at me and she's like, what happened here? And I just go, thought I'd do some off-roading. You know, any vehicle is an off-road vehicle the second you leave the road. And she just lost it, and she's like, do we need to call AAA? And I was like, yeah, that was gonna be my next task. I just wanted to quickly check and make sure the car was okay before I called, because I knew they were going to ask. And then while my mom was sitting there like to hang out with me and wait for the tow truck, we watched 3 other people slide through that intersection, and maybe only like 10 cars that went by. So my mom was like, okay, like I'm not even mad at you. Like, one, I could tell you were not moving that fast because you barely like came off the road. The only reason you made it that far is because you went down like off the, like into the ditch. 2, I have watched like 3 or 4 other people of the past 10 come through this area and almost make the exact same mistake you did. Now, I had only had my license for maybe a year at this point.
Qui alors?
Maybe a year and a half. No, it was my senior year, so I would have had my license for, yeah, about a year and a half at that point. A little over a year and a half.
Hola, muy.
Did it just double voice? That was gross. I didn't like that. James, I did it again. I did it again. I knew exactly what spot I was at. I stopped. You guys could see I stopped. I thought about it. Oh man, that you could see I realized where I was. I stopped talking. I visually looked at the where I was, made sure I was holding the up button, like the W button, so that once I make the catch, I pull myself up right away. Start running, hit the space bar, miss the jump. That's a bummer. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this button. Well, we're just about at the 3-hour mark, so honestly, it was a lot of fun to get distracted and talk to you guys. Pocket Leaves Mel, who rated me, and I never shouted out. I will do so now. There we go. Thank you, Mel. Pocket Leaves. Same person. Ooh, Extreme was really fun. Yeah, sorry I'll be honest, I don't have other mods. It's only myself, and I cannot tab out of this game very easily. So that's why I didn't shout you out before that, but I'll never admit either of those two things. But yeah, I really got to enjoy not thinking about the game, and I feel like it actually helped to not think about the game. Because I've played this game so many times at this point and made it so close, yet so far. Like, I was about 2/3 of the way into the game, and it all fell apart. I was doing so well. All right, let's see who is currently live. Oh, look at that. Surprise, surprise. No one currently playing Planet of Lana. At least in my following list. Do we want to keep it in the category, or do we want to go check and see someone else? Let me get my Discord up here. See who else could potentially be a target. Any names in here I recognize? Not really. Or if you guys have suggestions. I kept it in the category last raid. I try not to dilly-dally like this, but I'll be honest. Of the people I'm following here, rated within the past month, rated within the past month, rated within the past month, rated within the past month. Pretty much never talk in their chat. I don't think they know I exist. Same story, same story. Rated last week. So of my following, I don't really have many people. So if you guys have suggestions, by all means. 5 a.m. I'm going to work now, 2 hours earlier than I have to. All right, you have a great time at work, Blue. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Best of luck to ya. Like, if I'm looking at who we haven't rated longest in my viewer, rate a big title game to culture their viewers. I was about to say, if I'm looking at the people that I would realistically maybe raid, but I've rated them fairly recently, we have Hannah Honey. Very, very full energy. I don't know if I'm feeling that high energy today. I don't know who this is, Blue. I'm gonna mark this person down. Maybe I don't raid them today, but I'm gonna hang on to that username just so I have it. Honestly, I kind of just want to raid Marsh and say hello, because realistically, I'm gonna end up going towards that stream anyway. So if you guys are fine with raiding Marsh again, I don't think I've raided him since he started Legend of Zelda. 2 hours earlier to work, then I can go to sleep. All right, Lusky, if you want to hang around for just like another 3 minutes so I can get this raid and you can show up in the number just so I can seem cooler, I would appreciate it. Mel, have you been with me when we've raided over to Marsh yet? I don't know if you have, but he's super great, super wholesome. He loves chatting about streaming stuff, and if he like knows you stream, by all means, definitely. He tends to stream later into the evenings too, if you ever need someone to raid. He does Tears of the Kingdom right now. He was working on Star Wars. He did promise his community that he would dress as Link the entire time he streams Tears of the Kingdom, and he deeply regrets it because of how itchy the wig is. But he is a cosplayer. Mel, I know you enjoy your cosplays. Let me get socials out in case you guys are not following me on any of those socials and you want to follow me. By all means, go ahead. If you notice Discord is not in that list, that is because I have a separate command to feature it. That way I can point out to you guys that that link right there is the one that all information goes to. In terms of Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, all those tend to be peppered about. I will be dropping a new YouTube video Saturday, and I will be live again on Saturday. If you want to support me in this raid, and you are... Oh, it claims the ad is playing. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. You're still going to raid with me. If you are following and want to copy that raid message, you can go ahead. If you are subscribed and want to follow me, you can grab this raid message. I am so sorry about the ad. We're gonna hit him with an I forgot to pause the ad. Sorry, I will wait for you all to get back. Okay. I knew I was on a timer. Oh, it's not going to. We're going. I gotta copy my own raid message.